Good morning, it's April. I apologize for the Dracula lighting. As you can see, it's very dark outside. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and I just got done with boot camp. I love boot camp, but it's very hard, which is why I'm like super sweaty. So I wanted to talk this morning, before I forgot, about loss. A lot of times when we have a loss in our life, we don't go through the proper grieving process. We don't let go of the past and move on and have hope about the future. Instead, we spend every waking moment longing for things to go back to the way that they were, to get back what we've lost. It doesn't matter if you have lost your hair because of cancer or another drug. It doesn't matter if it's a baby that you miscarried, that your heart is breaking over not being able to have, or if it's money or a house or a job that you were happy at. When I was in the middle of 2 chemo drugs, I had a bad reaction to the second drug, and I was thrown into a depression for 4 days. And I don't know what it's like to be clinically depressed. If it was anything like the 4 days that I have, my heart goes out to you, because I wanted to die. Like, I didn't have any hope about my future. I thought that, if all I had to look forward to was bankruptcy and foreclosure and unemployment and explaining to some guy that I'm dating why I have scars all over my boobs, that wasn't a future that I really wanted to live for. And I almost stopped going to chemo because I don't want to live. I just wanted to check out because I wasn't going to be able to top, the life that I had been living in Kauai on a farm, with money at my disposal. And I think it's important to remember, when we are going through tough times, when we have lost a lot, that the past is no determinant of the future. We like to think it is. We like to say, oh, I've had past successes, so I'm going to be successful forever. We like to say, well, I've had a crappy life up until now. My life is just going to be crap going forward. But that's not true. Not always. Sometimes, if you have a bad attitude, you find that junk just follows you around in your life. Well, maybe you should change your attitude. Sometimes, if you are upbeat, you have a better perspective. So even when crappy things happen, you're like, you don't let it get to you. So the way that I got out of that depression was I entertained the possibility that things could be better. I imagined a future that would be worth looking forward to. And I thought, well, I would agree that all things are possible, that, as the French say, on ne sait jamais, one never knows what life is going to throw at you, good or bad. I built up evidence, which is what human beings do. This is how we function. We build up evidence to support our beliefs. And sometimes you can make yourself blind to evidence because you're like a lawyer in a courtroom who's like, oh, that's inadmissible because it came from that source. Even though it's evidence, you can say, well, just because I was happy in my past doesn't mean I'm going to be happy in my future. And yet the same person will say, well, I've had crappy boyfriends my whole life, so I probably will have crappy ones in my future. Do you see the logic there going on? So if your life is tough right now, if you feel like you have no hope, if you feel like you don't deserve or have used up all your good luck or some ridiculousness like that, remind yourself that you're not God. You have, a little control over your future, but the rest of it is kind of a surprise. And use your imagination, imagine that there is a possibility that good things can happen in your future. And then remind yourself that you would be shortchanging yourself if you gave up right now. That, number one, driving a little wedge into your thinking, entertaining the possibility, creates cognitive dissonance. which means that your brain can't hold two opposing ideas at the same time. One idea is, you know, nothing in my future will ever be as good as it was in my past. And now you have another idea that says, well, it's possible that there could be good things in my future because in the past, you know, when I had a bad time, good things happened and, you know, maybe I'm wrong. And then slowly this idea will start to crumble. And it's a slow, slow climb, but if you take it one step at a time, one stroke at a time, as I like to say, because a lot of times getting out of a tough place is not like walking. It's more like swimming, because if you stop swimming, you'll drown. So just keep paddling towards the other side and remind yourself that you're not God and that He might have some surprises in store for you. And if you hang in there and trust that there are good things in your future, maybe not the good things like they were in your past, maybe different good things that you'd be missing out on if you gave up. I have certainly had a lot of happiness that I could have never imagined. Happy surprises. And there are days when I miss my past so terribly, I wish I could go back there. But there are also days when I feel so blessed and so grateful that I hung in there. So, and not just because I have hair on my head again. So, just remember that, you know, times can be happy again, and you can be grateful again for your life. And if you give up now, you will be shortchanging yourself. So don't make up your mind about what your future is going to be like. Entertain a hopeful optimism, and maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. That's the lesson for today. I'm checking out so that I can take a shower and go to radiotherapy. So, see you later. Bye. Oh, and thanks for subscribing. If you liked this video, please rate, comment, forward it to a friend. Talk to you soon.